received?
Yeah, I'll just be the standing head coach for the bowl game and for our practices, but of course I'll lean on the assistant coaches that are there in the way they've been practicing and how they want to go about it. Of course they'll make most of the decisions, and I'll facilitate in any way I can.
Obviously, you know Brent Venables. What talk about his hire, please?
Yeah, I'm so excited. Brent's the absolute perfect fit for OU. He has a history there, a great history there. The great background he has and the experience at Clemson to bring to us. You got to admit what Clemson's done the last 10, 12, 15 years. They've been as good as anybody and better. So he'll bring fresh new ideas. I believe will help us. And so I don't think I think it's very real that he can make us better. So I'm excited for it, and I believe the players are, the program is, and Brent, he'll be rolling fast.
Do a little fist pump when you heard he was hired, so you didn't go on a recruiting trail anymore?
Well, yeah. I loved the we had so many great young athletes, young men that were know and see, and now with that connection, I'll follow them closer, as they come to OU, and great families as well. It was awesome meeting them all, and an impressive group, really great. So we're in good hands.
Just curious to get your thoughts on how Las Vegas has kind of become a sports city. In the past couple of years, there used to be this stigma around Las Vegas, and now with the Raiders, the Golden Knights, it's actually a big-time sports town. Now, just your thoughts on how you've seen Las Vegas grow.
Yeah, Las Vegas, they can handle the crowd. They handle, they could put a Super Bowl on and another event at the same time, rodeo event right now, whatever it is, here in Las Vegas, they can handle about anything. So, no, it's a great venue, easy to get to for everybody. And, these spaces are incredible. They can accommodate about anything.
Do you know yet who's going to call your defense in the Alamo Bowl?
Pardon me?
Do you know yet who's going to call your defense in the Alamo Bowl?
No, we haven't practiced yet. Players are, and that's usual every year. This time they're lifting and running, just training, staying in shape. And as a staff, we'll get together when I get back next week, and we'll decide how we want to work the preparation and who's going to call what.
What does it say about Brent that obviously had all these chances over the years, and it was OU finally?
Well, I think, Brent's very wise in that sometimes, and truth be told, I felt this way when I was at Florida with Coach Spurrier. I was in such a great job, I wasn't going to take just any job. I was going to be patient. I turned down jobs when I was with Coach Spurrier because I liked too much what I was doing. Brent was the top paid assistant coach in the country, working with Dabo, who's a great guy. They win all the time. Why leave? And that was my feeling with Coach Spurrier of Florida. But my case, Oklahoma came calling. And I was like, well, this is the right one. Same with Brent. Like, Oklahoma comes calling, that's as good as it gets. And I think Brent was just waiting for the right opportunity, and he's perfect for us. The right time, his experience. You look at the guy's been through 8 national championships. I loved, his experience, not just with us, but at Clemson, seeing it at the best level. So he's going to bring us a lot, and I think to even improve us.
What did you think of his reception and lining up at the airport?
I've only seen bits and pieces, and obviously because I'm here, otherwise I would have been there for sure with my arm around him, absolutely. But from what I've seen, it was incredible. The fans are so excited. They did a great job with the presentation, and he was awesome on stage, the parts I've seen. And that doesn't surprise me. He's got great passion, for the game, for programs. He's going to be super for us.
You could be his get-back coach. I mean, he had one in Clemson that just held on.
Yeah, but I was telling someone earlier, I had a get-back coach when I was a D coordinator too. So.
What's your take on all these major coaching changes the last couple weeks?
everybody got to live their life, do what they got to do. No, it's okay. A lot of these great programs, they'll be fine. Just get another. There's a lot of good football coaches out there. That's I guess would be my message.
Do you think the transfer portal sort of changed the mindset of coaches that you don't get the 5 years, 4 years, the loyalty anymore? You have to be more. What's the current situation?
Yeah, I guess some people have really used it to their advantage, and I don't know. I arrived at a program, had a winning season in 4 years, hadn't been to a bowl game in 4 years, and 2 years later we were undefeated, and there was no transfer portal back then. So you can, depending on how you work your guys, you can get there with it or without it.
Yeah, Dennis asked you about Brent's reception the other night in Norman. What do you remember about yours when you first got there? Both landed and then
landed. I was on the steps of Evans Hall, thinking, "What in the hell am I doing?" Wow. It was all a blur. Brent's much more equipped to handle this than I was at that time. But I knew I had to do it. I knew Oklahoma. I said to my wife, I said to multiple people before they ever called me for the job, that this is a sleeping giant. I said Oklahoma is a sleeping giant, and they should be at the top of the food chain, a top 5 program. And fortunately, it worked out for us that we brought it that way. Me and assistant coaches, the players that were there, we jump-started it fast. But I can remember standing up there thinking, "Wow, here we go." This is, in fact, funny story. It's in my book. I went home after a couple weeks for Christmas break. Recruiting had died down, and I got home for a few days. My car dealer picked me up from Jacksonville to drive me to Gainesville. He's a great buddy of mine, Rick Rundle. And I said, "Rick, I've ruined my life." That was after 2 weeks. It was just so overwhelming. And obviously I didn't ruin my life. It was the best thing that's happened to me, and you just got to let it grow on you, and you got to work your job, and little by little it improved quickly.
Bob, that moment might have been the only moment that you had a lack of confidence. I talked to Joe yesterday, Joe Castiglione, and he said that was one of the things that stood out to you was your confidence, not arrogance, but just confidence in being who you are, being Bob Stoops. What does that mean? What was he talking about?
Well, I have a natural, for whatever reason, God blessed me with a confidence or a way about that. I'm not real worried about much. I do whatever I got to do, and I felt that way even as an assistant coach with Coach Spurrier. I was at the time when 2- and 3-year contracts were just starting to happen. Coach Spurrier asked me if I wanted a 2-year contract. I go, "Why, Coach?" I go, "I ain't worried about it." I go, "If you don't want me here, I'll get another job." And he, Coach, you guys all know him. He laughed. He goes, I'd say the same thing. So I was like, so anyway, I don't know. That's just, it's just who I am, and fortunately, again, whether my parents, God, whatever, I've been blessed that way that, I'll do what I need to do.
I read a quote from you in the New York Times and dated 1999. You told the writer, "This was harder than I thought." That was in 99, after the 99 season. Do you remember that? Do you remember feeling that?
First month, I barely remember it. I was way overwhelmed. I mean, I was spinning, trying to hire coaches, had no recruiting board left to us. I mean, it was a blur. And you know what's amazing? For whatever reason, that first recruiting class, go through and look at those guys. And none of them were 5-star guys or thought of much. Look at that group that we signed, and look at all the All-Americans, national award winners. I mean, we absolutely hit a home run with our recruiting class. And I hit a home run with the assistant coaches that I hired right off the bat. And it didn't happen quickly. It took a while.
I told you a year ago that you'd be in the Hall of Fame, but you'd also be coaching OU again, and you'd have a press conference with the coach who would end up leaving for another job that you'd be coaching against, Mario Cristobal. What would you have thought? I mean, was this one of the weirdest weeks of your life, potentially?
I wouldn't say weirdest, but it was one of the harder weeks that I've had. Just having to try and jump back in and visit with recruits and let them understand the strength of Oklahoma is more than one guy, me included, and just have some patience. There's a lot of great people and coaches out there that'll fit you well, and as well as our current players, that them to understand they truly are OU football, not Lincoln, not me. So just everybody get a grip on this. It's okay, and we'll be fine. And so just trying to get people to understand that was a big mission this week, and I believe it worked because we are bigger than any one guy, and also in that group was assistant coaches in limbo. And that's why I said to the whole fan base out there, look, give these guys a break. This is even Lincoln, everything. There's no good way for this transition to ever happen. And just understand that and let it be. It is what it is, and there's never a perfect way for it to happen.
Have you had a chance to talk to Lincoln since he took the job?
We've texted a few times, and we'll catch up. And again, he's a friend of mine. I value the friendship, and that won't change. And again, I feel the fan base, everybody ought to appreciate the good work he did for OU. I do. I appreciate it, and it's okay. He got his life to live somewhere else, do something different. That's okay, and we'll be okay.
When you went back to 99, you mentioned feeling overwhelmed at times. What was the most overwhelming thing about
Well, just the first month. Didn't have coaches there. I knew I was hiring Mark Mangino, my brother Mike, Brent Venables, but they weren't going to be there until after their bowl game with Kansas State. So you're there, and it was Bobby Jack Wright and I and Smitty. Jerry Schmidt came with me from Florida right away. It was us three. And we threw Smitty a grease pen to get up on the grease board and start writing recruits' name, position, what state they were in, where they're at, and how we're going to get to them. And then I think after a week or two, I hired Cale Gundy. Right away, I knew what his OU roots and all that. And he's been a great hire still to this day. He's the guy you lean on in this moment, It was just a lot, to get the right hires for your staff, to recruit, to just to get it all going. That December was wow. It was a blur.
What was young Brent like?
Just like he is now. You love his passion, his toughness, his attitude. Everything about Brent's great. Class guy, great family man. He's going to get the best out of our players. They're going to love playing for him. And like he said in his press conference, he cares about them, more than just winning games, and they'll love it.
Bob, that 99 staff, I talked to Chuck Long about the 2000 staff when he joined the team, and he said the chemistry there was the best he's ever been on any staff ever.
Yeah,
why was that?
We've always had good chemistry. It's just the people that we've hired that I think I hired that had the right chemistry because I knew they're the right kind of people.
Yeah.
Funny, I was at the College Hall of Fame in '99 when Mike Leach left to take the head coaching job at Tech. I was here at the Hall of Fame in New York. Chuck Long, my teammate at Iowa, was being inducted as a player. I saw Chuck, hung out with him for a little bit. I turned to my wife and said, I'm going to hire him as my quarterback coach. And she said, I said, I'm not going to bother him through this weekend I want him to enjoy the Hall of Fame. But today, as soon as he gets back, I'm going to call him and I'm going to hire him if he'll come from Iowa to be our quarterback coach to replace Mike Leach. And sure enough, I called him as soon as we got home and he said, I'm coming. So he was great. Chuck, I love him. He's a dear friend, but a great coach too.
He said it was a mix of Youngstown guys, K-State guys, Iowa guys, and Oklahoma guys.
It really was. You got a good point there. Bear, Coach Mangino, Mike and I, Youngstown, K-State guys, Brent and Bear and Mike, that tie, and then Jonathan Hayes, Chuck, some Iowa connection. And then Brent, Jackie Shipp, and I mean not Brent, but Cale Gundy, Jackie. I love hiring OU guys. You know, they love the program. It was but they're all good people and great coaches.
So Bob, there's a lot of bowls going on. I need one prediction on one game. Who are you rooting for in the Citrus Bowl between Kentucky and Iowa?
Why would you ask me that?
Sophie's choice.
All my Fox crews already asked me, and I got to admit, blood is blood. So there's no getting away from it. Yeah.
Hey, I talked to Joe, and he said in the press conference when you got up and said, "Look, the Oklahoma program is bigger than one person," that really everybody kind of rallied. The fan base rallied behind that because they weren't used to a coach leaving like that. Did you realize the impact that would have? Because when he said a Hall of Famer stands up there and says the program is bigger than one person, including myself and everybody else, I think like all the OU fans kind of just, it was like almost like a rallying.
Well, I think everyone realized it then. Everyone sometimes needs reminded. And truth is truth. That is the truth. It's bigger than Barry Switzer. It's bigger than me, and bigger than Lincoln Riley. I mean, he didn't create OU football.
Right.
So my point was to everybody, hey, everybody calm down and relax. It's fine. You know, we're not going away. That 10-2 team is still sitting in these chairs right here.
Right.
You know, Lincoln didn't make any plays. And I used to tell my players all the time when I was there, I said, I hadn't made a play in a long time. You guys win and lose, and you're here. And I said that to them when I walked away. You know, everyone was all, what's going to happen? I said, guys, everybody, once they went in the team room, and once they understood, like, yeah, we're all still here. We still win and lose, whatever, and this is what Coach wants to do. They stood up and gave me a standing ovation. Like, that's right, we're good. And they just needed reminded again, like, wait a second, you know, you're the ones who make it. And, you know, and again, I just think everyone sometimes gets caught up in whatever, and it's like, wait a minute, you're not looking at this properly. You know, this is.
Prepare remarks for something like that?
Hell no. You know me.
That's what I was going to say.
No, that's just not me. I'm not much on preparing remarks. I go off the cuff, but I did feel strongly that, look, this is good, and I love Lincoln. That's okay. Everyone got their life to live. Go live it. But the program's bigger than all of us, and we'll be fine. And Brent, now you see, Brent's there. He's fantastic for us. And again, fresh, new ideas. Who's to say it can't be better? You know, and so it's perfect.
What is there to say about the coaching profession now that guys are leaving in the middle of the season, being fired in the middle of the season?
It isn't the coaching profession. It's just the way things are now with many things. Early signing dates, transfer portals, everything else. I always have said, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Well, this is where we're at now, and this is why things have to happen faster, fire guys quicker, hire quicker. You can't leave properly. That's no one's fault. These coaches that have done this, everyone wants to get like they would have done it better. Well, maybe you wouldn't have if you're in their shoes. It's just not easy to do. And I said it the other day on air, give them a little grace. There's just no good way to make these transitions. And that's just how it is. And assistant coaches are really in a bad spot. Do I have a job, not have a job? Do I go with him? Not. I don't want to go with him, but I have to because I don't have another job. They try and recruit to help the program, and then fans get on him because, he may go. I mean, there's no right way. You know, just let it be.
Do you have an opinion about the early signing period, or did you have?
I thought it was great, but because of this, it isn't. You know, initially, as a coach, when I was there, and I'm like, I'd have to spend my whole January seeing players that have been committed for a year, 2 years, when if they had signed, you know, I don't have to travel, the expense, the time away from my current players that I could be there with them. And so, but then again, it creates another domino effect now that coaching changes have to happen faster. So again, it isn't the coach's fault that the timetable is what it is.
Would you like to get rid of the early signing period? I mean, I know you're not going to be involved when the.
No, but you know what? Now that I see what this is all transpired, because current players now get shortchanged with their coaches, and yeah, probably move it back, or somehow adjust the recruiting schedule to accommodate, because of the hiring schedule. It's right now. It just. The schedule is the problem, not the coaches in the way they have to leave. That's in my opinion.
Bob, in your day, how much did you think you had to answer to boosters? I mean,
Never.
You never felt like it?
Never.
Okay.
Never once in my 18 years, but I was lucky too. We went undefeated my second year, so everybody quit telling me how I needed to coach, So honestly, that's a true statement. Everyone quit. The first year, I had a lot of people trying to tell me what I needed to do, and then we went undefeated, and everyone stopped. They're like, all right, let him think he knows what he's doing. So.
Who's going to, here in a month, who's the best Hall of Fame interim coach? Is it going to be you or Barry Alvarez?
Well, I can't match Barry. He did it 3 or 4 times. Shoot, he won a Rose Bowl, so I think, right?
You still got some.
So I got my hat's off to him, and I called him the other day. He started laughing as soon as he answered. I go, well, give me some advice. He goes, all right. Anyway, we're very close.
You don't want to do it a second time?
No, man. I mean, this is I'll do what I need to do now, and we're in great hands with Brent. So be it.
Going against Bellotti? Going against Bellotti?
I love it. Mike's the best. Mike and I are friends from all our Nike trips together, and so it'll be good to connect with him, see how Mike's doing, and yeah, he cares about that program like I do OU.
Bob, when you touched on it the other day in the Zoom, but looking back at that 06 game against the Ducks.
Someone sent me this. There. Who sent it to me? No, someone. Oh, I know. It's Toby Keith sent it to me the other day. Where's Toby here? There it is. So here you go.
Oh, here's the ball.
Look at Alan Patrick. See the ball? You guys got it?
Yeah.
Ace, Alan Patrick right there, 23. See the official? There's the ball for the whole world to see. He thinks he sees the ball in there, somebody's shoe. Oregon ball. Really? And they reviewed it.
That's right. Gordon Reeds.
They review it. I don't want to know his name.
You got home.
Don't call out his name. I don't like that.
You got home, though,
But
before.
please, you review it. I don't care if that's reviewable or not. You do the right thing and say, OU's ball. He's showing the whole world I got the ball.
Bob, as I recall, you guys got home on the flight and didn't even know what had happened.
Well,
because of the
I was given way too much credit for the poise I didn't blow up in the press conference after, because I did not see him showing the world the ball. I see it the next day. I busted about everything in my office you could bust. So when I realized what had happened, yeah. So, yeah, bad deal. But hey, that's not Oregon's fault now, and that has nothing to do with this game. So,
when you think back to your childhood home, your family growing up, your brothers, your sisters, Youngstown, and project now where you're sitting up here with all these Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Put that into perspective for me. You growing up humble home and coach's kid.
And that's what I truly love about my life. I grew up in the best place you could. Very little means, but great, a lot of love, a lot of friends. My neighborhood buddies are here this weekend, or the last few days. My family is, my mother. So I had a ball. I mean, I grew up the best you could, and I'm honored to be there, but the other part of my life is what really matters to me. I've never been one to count wins, to count championships. Where do I stand in the pecking order anywhere? That isn't me. So anyway, I don't want to dismiss this great honor at all, but this isn't the pinnacle of my life. That's for sure, and I mean that with all respect to the Hall of Fame. But my life is my family and my friends. So.
You mentioned family there. What's it going to be like coaching Drake?
It'll be great. I mean, but hopefully he has a big play. I give him a big hug, but more than one big play. Hopefully he has a few, but Yeah, it'll be neat, as well as my son Isaacs works with the defensive side of the ball, so it'll be fun to watch him working out there as well.
Where's Ronnie? Is he here?
He's here.
Is he here?
Yeah. All my brothers, sisters are here, and their spouses, and so we've had a great time the last couple of days.